Good morning. This is Philip Koerper. This is the Philip Koerper Show. This is episode 125, February 14th, 2020. Oh, it's really funny. The Democrats are really freaking out now. Bernard, okay, the communist, is he's the front runner, and they do not know what to do. After the New Hampshire uh, primary, Bernard won out. Okay, so now we've got a self-described Democrat socialist, but it really is a communist. He honeymooned in the Soviet Union, a communist country, drinking vodka shirtless. He loves Fidel Castro. He loves communism. He wants socialized medicine. He is running against the establishment. And yesterday I talked about him and James Carville getting into it. And even James Carville called him a communist. So I think this is, as far as politics goes, the primaries are where we can really fight things out, where you want that party to go. And the Democrat Party and the Republican Party are constantly changing. Look how Donald Trump has really changed the Republican Party in many different ways. Look how he's such a fighter. He's such a pugilist. He really fights back against the left. And I love that about him. I think it's super. I think it's great. So here's Bernard Sanders. He's trying to go for it again. Oh, it's funny. He won't release his medical records. He said he would. Oh, he hasn't done that yet. Remember, he had that heart attack not too long ago. So he is out in front, and so many people are freaking out. Some moderate, I'm looking at a Fox News article, some moderate lawmakers are sounding the alarm bells. Okay, Chad Pergam and Marissa Schultz are reporting on Capitol Hill. It's bad. One freshman Democrat from a swing district says, "We are having conversations about how to deal with this. If Sanders is the nominee, we lose." Of course. How are we going to win? Okay. We have 180 million Americans are on private health insurance plans, me included. Okay. The hospital I work for has very nice Anthem health insurance for me, my wife, and my kids. I mean, it's great. We love it. Our prescription drugs are super low cost. I mean, it is great. It is great. We get dental things covered. I mean, we couldn't be happier with this. But Bernard, no. If he is president, he wants to do away with that. Okay, he wants to get rid of private insurance. It's all going to be socialized medicine. The government is going to be running the show. Oh. So, that is not going to go over very well. How is he going to get elected president of the United States? It's just never going to happen. So, anyhow, it is funny. These Russian pranksters, according to Breitbart, they called him up, and it sounds like him on the other line, and they were pretending to be Greta Thunberg and her father, and talking about how she wants to campaign with him, and Bernard was like, "Oh, this will be great," and then she's talking about maybe doing some rap, and he could wear some golden chains and stuff, and then they suggested that his running mate be Mayor Cheat. Oh, and Bernard said, "Well, I'll take that under advisement." So anyhow, these Russian pranksters are hilarious. That is so funny. So anyhow, the Democrats are just going crazy. I mean, even Juan Williams, the fives, they're little liberal on there. They think that Democrats are really anxious about Bernard could cost winnable Senate seats. So anyhow, it is fun. I mean, a lot of people. The left points to the Republicans and talk about how we're in disarray. Well, the primaries get pretty ugly, right? And so the Democrats are starting to feast on each other. We'll see. We'll see what happens. They're talking about Mini Mike. It is so funny in Wikipedia. It says that he's 5'8". Oh, but Donald was tweeting about Mini Mike being a lightweight and that he's 5'4". So Donald has been teasing Mini Mike Bloomberg, or Doomberg, as some people call him. That's what Rush Limbaugh calls him, Doomberg. Speaking of Rush, it was very touching yesterday. People were calling in and offering if they could donate a lung to Rush Limbaugh, who's suffering from lung cancer. Rush got choked up over that. I really love Rush Limbaugh. He's a great conservative. He's a big part of the conservative movement in the United States. He's a patriot. He's conservative. And 20 million people listening to him every week. He's an incredible influence over the Republican Party and a great unifier of the Republican Party. Very savvy political instincts does Rush Limbaugh have. And so that was touching to hear him get touched up a little bit about how much we love him and care about him and praying for him to overcome this illness. This Roger Stone thing keeps going on. I mean, this is so frustrating. Roger Stone is, in this D.C. court. The judge says that she is a D.C. court judge, Judge Amy Berman Jackson. And so Donald, Donald does have First Amendment rights, right? He can tweet basically about anything he wants, okay? And there's a little tit for tat going on between him and Bill Barr. Bill Barr just wants to do his job as Attorney General and doesn't like all these tweets sometimes that Donald's doing and complained about that. That's fine. He can complain about that. And Donald can continue, and that's okay. Donald says he's not bothered by that. That's fine. Bill Barr is trying to do his job, and Donald Trump is trying to do his job. Donald Trump is very involved with his power as presidency. It's amazing. We give him so much power. Can you imagine what's going to happen if Donald gives a pardon to Roger Stone? Oh, would that be unconstitutional? Oh, would he be interfering? I mean, it is amazing. The founding fathers gave the president of the United States a lot of power, so he would not just be a figurehead. He has a lot of power. He can give presidential pardons. That is constitutional. So if he wants to pardon Roger Stone, he can. The founding fathers were smart because they know when the president does pardons, and when do presidents usually do their pardoning? Oh, they do it right before they leave office. That's what Governor Beshear did here in Kentucky. That's what Barry Obama did at the end of his presidency. The reason why they do the presidential pardons at the end, why is that? Can you think why? Well, it's because they're mainly very unpopular. Okay, so presidents don't like to really use this great power of pardoning because it doesn't seem very fair. Okay, Americans want fairness. We've got our courts and we want fairness. So this DC judge, okay, and so you've got the DOJ prosecuting with Roger Stone, and the prosecutors were going to, the deal was that Bill Barr had talked to them and they were not going to go for the 7 to 9 year prison term for Roger Stone. I mean, guy's 73 years old or something like that. But those prosecutors, these are old Mueller holdouts, they decided just to throw the book at Roger Stone. Bill Barr was not happy with that, found out about it and made some changes. No, we're not going to suggest this. We're not going to throw the book at Roger Stone. This doesn't look fair. This is really stupid. Rapists only get 4 years in prison. We're not going to throw this 70-year-old guy, Roger Stone, in prison, for life, basically, for 9 years. Okay, Donald, of course, is very involved, and he is on Twitter about this, and he says this doesn't look fair. So that tweet came out after Bill Barr had made all these recommendations, but it doesn't matter. The Democrats are going to go crazy over this. Okay, we already know they go crazy over everything. I mean, everyone is just glassy-eyed over this. I mean, even the Democrats, they cannot go crazy 12 out of 10 on everything. It's just very tiresome. They're talking about impeaching Donald Trump again. Okay. Oh, how do you think that's going to go? Well, the Senate will exonerate him. They will acquit. Okay. We can play this game with them all they want. It just looks petty. It looks dumb, and it doesn't look very fair because Americans basically love fairness. So when Donald sees something unfair with Roger Stone, he speaks up. Bill Barr actually saw something unfair with Roger Stone, and he's spoken up. But, the Democrats are talking about, Donald Trump is influencing the Department of Justice. Who is the head of the Department of Justice? Let me think. It's the President of the United States. Who can hire and fire Bill Barr, the Attorney General? Let me think. It's President of the United States. Okay, so Donald Trump runs the Attorney General's office. He runs it. And he can fire Bill Barr for having his tie out of place. We all know this. Even James Comey admitted that the President of the United States can fire him at his pleasure, okay, for arriving to work too late. I mean, duh, okay. So these deep staters will just throw anything at Donald Trump and just blame anything on him. It's maddening. Chuck Schumer is accusing Donald of inappropriately, quote, interfering with career prosecutors in a politically sensitive case. Oh, wow. Is that illegal? Oh, no, I guess not. No, that's not illegal. I mean, Chuck Schumer can sue the president if it's illegal. Or, no, this is ridiculous. Oh, I love it. I love it, man. It's so great. We are getting our money's worth out of Donald Trump. We don't even have to pay him. He doesn't even take his salary. He just donates it. I mean, it's just great. It's so awesome. Americans love that. So I'm just cracking up over that. And of course, my leftist friends at work, well, just like one, is going crazy over this Roger Stone thing. They just think they can't. The polls say that the Democrats just hate Donald Trump and they want him out of there. Just get him out of there. We hate him. We don't like the orange man. Orange man bad. Get him out of there. They are just unhinged. They won't talk about the issues. It's just hilarious. Oh, meanwhile, this coronavirus continues to get worse. Cases now, we got 5,000 new cases. The death toll is approaching 1,400. I don't think China's still allowing the CDC in there. But anyhow, so keeping an eye on that. Hopefully this will plateau off and die away. But that continues to scare things up. Trump and Cuomo, the governor of New York, are a little bit at a tit for tat. Oh, this is just pretty funny. This is a Fox News article. Andrew Cuomo visited the White House on Thursday in the hope he could persuade President Trump to reverse a recent decision to boot New Yorkers from Global Entry and several other trusted traveler programs. Some of my friends have Global Entry. Otherwise, I wouldn't even know what this is. But these people who travel a lot, in and out of the country, can basically give all your credentials to the government, and then you're a known traveler, okay? And so then what you do is, instead of going through customs when you come back into the United States, you just go to this little kiosk and boop, 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 and then you just go right through. It can save you a lot of time. My friends who do this, I sit there and wait in line forever, and then they just zoom right through. So anyhow, this is a federal program. And so Donald is giving New Yorkers a hard time about it because New York has this new green light law, which lets unauthorized immigrants obtain state driver's licenses and also bars federal immigration agents from accessing state motor vehicle records. Oh my. Oh yeah. So, I mean, really, the left and their protecting of illegal aliens is just really, I think we're just going to win on this issue. Most Americans do not like this at all. Many of my immigrant friends do not like this. We like the rule of law. This reminds me about voting. And about, what about electronic voting? And then it was the app that blew up in Iowa, supposedly, and Ted Cruz was going, oh, can you imagine if the left, who controls the internet, if we had voting online? No, voting online would be wonderful because you could only vote once. We know there's so much corruption with in-person voting. I have friends who were helping with the elections, the 2018 elections in California, and they've told me they witnessed people who we're not asking for credentials of people to vote. I mean, there is a lot of cheating going on in voting. Overall, I think the winner wins, but the true winner wins. But there is a lot of corruption in voting, and if we had electronic voting like through the internet, oh my, I think that would be great. I think that would be great, because to cheat would be a lot harder. To cheat. Look, we do our online banking, our credit cards, everything, all of our financials, retirement. My retirement's done online. Oh no, this is really probably this is the most secure system to do anything. And so anyhow, I would love to move through that, because we still have a lot of illegal voting, and we have illegal aliens voting, which is really not right, not fair, against the Constitution, as the Democrats want to say. So anyhow, there's an Alabama lawmaker. Oh, this lady, I mean, complete numbskull. Yeah, she wants to. This is an Alabama state lawmaker, and she wants to require men to get vasectomies on their 50th birthday. Okay, or after they had like 3 kids. And she says it takes 2 to tango, and we need to do this. This is vasectomy bill HB 238. She tweeted out, it would help with reproductive system. This is to neutralize the abortion ban bill. The responsibility is not always on the women. It takes 2 to tangle. This will help. This will help prevent pregnancy as well as abortion of unwanted children. Oh yeah. Oh, so let's just sterilize the men. Oh, what is going on here? What does this sound like? I mean, is this Nazi Germany? What is going on here? Oh, we're going to forcibly sterilize people. Oh, so we're going to drag 50-year-old men out of their houses. I mean, how are we going to enforce this? Drag them out. Or maybe the doctors can just make house visits and just go in there, and we could just hold these people down. Maybe someone like me could go down there and I'll just put the guy to sleep against his will, and then we can give him a vasectomy. Tie off his tubes. Oh, what? Where are these people coming from? That is just absolutely crazy. Oh, going back to politics with the election, Laura Ingraham brings up a great point about Mini Mike, Little Doomberg. Okay, 5'4", Little Doomberg. Well, remember what he said about China? He said the Communist Party wants to stay in power in China, and they listen to the public, and the public says, I can't breathe the air. So Xi Jinping is not a dictator. Okay, this is what Mini Mike says. And then the interviewer said, he's not a dictator? And Mini Mike said, no, he has to. He has a constituency to answer to. I mean, yeah. Oh, wow. So Mini Mike apparently doesn't think, I guess he doesn't agree with Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, that China is our biggest threat. No, he really doesn't. So Mini Mike is really crazy. I mean, the guy wants to ban everything. He, as Laura Ingraham said, he's not only just bad on guns, bad on immigration, terrible on healthcare and our food choices. He wants to take sugar out of everything. Oh, by the way, I love granola bars, and I bought some of these super fancy granola bars at Walmart the other day. Super expensive. They're like, I forgot what they are, like XL bars or something like that. Oh, really trendy, very nice wrapping, kind of like a brown box, kind of looks like it's recycled. You know how these granola kind of people do. These little chocolate, so they had chocolate, cocoa in them, and peanuts, and I don't know, a few other goodies. They tasted absolutely bland, terrible. They were super gooey. I could barely chew them. They're kind of hard. I did find a nurse at work who loves them, but these things are disgusting. I mean, this is probably, Mini Mike would probably only allow these kind of granola bars to be sold. No, I want granola bars with sugar in them. They're sweet and yummy. That's what I want to eat, not these horrible tasting, healthy, using air quote, granola bars are awful. Oh, where was I? So anyhow, I love how Laura Ingraham is giving Mini Might. He's so bossy. He's just bossy like that lady down in Alabama who wants to sterilize all 50-year-olds. Oh, God. Yeah. It's absolutely horrendous. Hey, I wanted to wrap up today talking about Brooke Castillo. She is head of the life coach school. I'm really into some of these ideas. I think she's a great thought leader. And she has organized all of these life coaches. I think they've got really good ideas. And the main thing they go off of is what Brooke has taught is this model about circumstances lead to our thoughts, thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and actions lead to results. And so I really like this. And circumstances are just anything that's going on in your life. Yesterday at work, we had one of my co-workers, and she really doesn't like this other guy and was kind of calling him names and stuff. And I'm thinking, like, I mean, yeah, the circumstance might be that this guy is really kind of hard to deal with and kind of rude, right? Or is kind of short with us or impatient or whatever you want to say. The circumstance would be like he wants help right now, he's not willing to wait or something like that. And then our thoughts could be, well, this guy's really, really terrible and we can think of bad names to call him. Or we could kind of just give the guy a break and choose some other thought. Choose some other thought to have about this guy. Maybe, he's got a lot of reasons for being this way. Maybe he's just having a bad day. Maybe he had lots of bad days in a row or whatever. Or, the thought we could have there is that we're just going to kind of overlook these things and you think about all the problems that you got and you're not going to just be so judgy on this guy. And then those kind of thoughts, the thoughts you choose to have about this guy are how you're feeling. Either upset and you're going to let this guy anger you because he's so impatient, or you just don't really care and you feel like just being kind to him and taking care of the patient or whatever. So this model that she teaches, I think, is just really helpful. I find it really helpful in my life with the thoughts that I choose to have and some of the struggles that I have, especially with relationships and things. Our feelings and how we feel about certain things can really be influenced by our thoughts. And the thoughts, many of our thoughts, we can pick and choose as we please. Okay? And if one thought is not serving you, you can think another. It's not that we make up lies for each other, but there's different ways of thinking of things. Then these feelings lead to actions, the actions that we really want and results. So, for example, if I'm trying to improve relationships, I like to have better thoughts of these people, and those better thoughts that I have of them, kind thoughts, generous thoughts, looking at their strengths rather than their weaknesses, right? And those are things I can share. One thing I'll share before I close is that I served a mission for my church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I joined this church at Brigham Young University when I was 19, and I wanted to go serve a full-time mission for the church. Well, I had to pay for that. Well, I didn't have the money. I sold my car, and so I had some money, but I needed help from my dad. I needed help to pay for this, and so I went to my dad. I think the church probably would have helped me looking back. I didn't really know that at the time, but the church teaches to be as self-sufficient as we can, so I went to my dad. And I asked, my parents were divorced, and I went to my dad. My mom didn't have the money. I went to my dad, and I asked him if he could help pay for this mission. It was going to cost, the church had calculated like $220 a month, and my dad said, sure. And guess what? My dad, who wasn't a member of that church, paid for my mission for a year and a half. I mean, my dad had other kind of problems and things. Things didn't always go perfect in our relationship. But I always have the thought that my dad loved me, and that thought is that circumstance, is that he paid for my mission. So I could go down to Mexico and serve full-time as a missionary. Didn't have to work down there, just worked as a missionary, didn't get paid anything, and just serve the people of Mexico and share the gospel of Jesus Christ with them. This is a great part of my life. That was really cool for me to do that when I was 20 and 21 years old. And my dad helped pay for that. So I always felt I always, that thought that I had, and always had those feelings of love for my dad because of that circumstance that my dad had. Now, some other people and have other thoughts of my dad and other circumstances that didn't go so well. So you could choose to think that your dad really loved you, or you could choose, look at other circumstances and choose the thought that your dad doesn't love you. I chose the thought that he does love me, and he's passed away, and I still feel that love from him even to this day. So that's just a thought that I choose to have, and in those feelings, it gives me really good feelings. And what about actions? Oh, I think I'm kinder and gentler, and I'm happier because I had a dad who really loved me. Oh, I love that. I love that fact. I love those feelings, and I love the results that I get because I think I'm a better Christian man who reflects upon the great love that my dad had for me. So anyhow, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I wanted to share that with you today as my little uplifting spiritual thought that I like to do at the end of my podcast. This is Philip Koerper. This is the Philip Koerper Show. Subscribe at iTunes, or you could watch it on YouTube, the Philip Koerper Show. You guys have a great day. See ya. Bye.